This Dexerdry installation video is part 2 of a 2-part series entitled Dexerdry, decks that span over 20 feet. It is important to watch part 1 first, as this video is a continuation of decks that span over 20 feet. Part 1 encompasses most of the details of the larger deck concept. It spotlights a seam running down the center of the deck. Part 2 takes that idea further by showing how a centerboard, also known as a buttboard, can be used in the same situations. The deck model shown was built to incorporate 2 different scenarios that often occur when building or designing a deck. We'll focus on just the centerboard concept for this video, but also shown here is our solution to decking that runs perpendicular to the house and inside corners. We'll be covering both of those situations in our next video. Okay, back to part 2 of decks that span over 20 feet. Properly frame for your centerboard by finding the center of your deck and doubling up on the joists. One joist to the right of center and one to the left. On both sides of the double joist, measure 3 to 3 1/4 inches and add a joist. This will give you 2 bays in the framing for the gutters. You'll need to incorporate 2 gutters when using a centerboard. Refer to part 1 of this series for details and measurements of gutter construction. Once the gutters and fascia boards are properly installed, we're ready to install the centerboard. We route the end closest to the house with the proper router bit. In this case, we're using Decorator's brand decking, which has a groove dimension of 5/32 wide by 3/8 of an inch deep. Be sure to incorporate the drip edge on both sides of the centerboard. Use the rubber mallet to tap the board into place. We ran the centerboard long. We'll temporarily secure it so we can accurately install the decking, then trim the centerboard to length later. It is important to note that we start a Dexerdry deck from the house. In most cases, you'll be able to let the joists run long until you've reached the end. With about 3 deck boards to go, you'll be able to measure accurately where you'll want to cut the joists. This is a Dexerdry deck being built as described. Using a 2x4 to keep the joists on center, we can get an accurate measurement on where we'll need to cut the joists and add the box framing. When building our model, we do just that. Knowing our deck is 5 boards deep, we can accurately frame it. Now with the centerboard in place, we can begin the decking. Overhang and drip edge dimensions are thoroughly explained in our primary video called Installing Dexerdry, as well as our picture frame and fascia details. Leave between 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 inch gap between the ends of the decking and the centerboard for drainage. Install the Dexerdry and deck boards as before until you reach the second to last board. Both sides of the centerboard are now decked. Now we can scribe the end of the centerboard. Remove the temporary screws, trim it, and then reinstall. Incorporating a centerboard allows you to build a 40-foot wide deck with just the 2 gutters. You can expand on this concept every 20 feet if needed, so a 60-foot deck would only require 2 centerboards. The deck is now ready for the final board, picture frame, and fascia systems. We hope this 2-part series thoroughly explains how to build a deck wider than 20 feet. For all of our instructional videos and written PDF instructions, please visit us at Dexerdry.com. And thanks for watching.